And welcome back to Coast. I'm George Norrie. 2 hours tonight with Giorgio Tsoukalos. He's been described as the real-life Indiana Jones and trailblazer that is changing the way the world thinks about ancient astronauts and those theories. Publisher of Legendary Times. Giorgio, of course, prominently shown on the History Channel's Ancient Aliens, and here he is on Coast to Coast. Hey, Giorgio, how are you?
Very well, George. How about you? I'm glad to be back on.
Likewise. Okay, first of all, what is it with the hair? Because I get more comments about you on Ancient Aliens and your hairdo than anybody I've ever heard about. What's going on there?
You know, my hair actually has its own Facebook fan page as well. So my hair has a complete life on its own all of a sudden. It's a phenomenon, and the truth, I tell you, is in the hair. In the 70s, there was this book out called Chariots of the Gods. Have I heard of it? Do I know who this guy Eric von Daniken is? And I said, not only do I know who he is, but he's my boss. We publish a magazine together.
Well, and I've got to tell you, we live and die in this business, Giorgio, as you know, by the ratings. And the mere fact that this is coming back now for Part 3, Season 3, tells you that it's making an impact on the public, doesn't it?
Right, it is.
What do you think makes ancient astronauts, ancient aliens, so popular?
Look, I really think that it has to do that today's answers no longer make sense.
What is your take? What do you believe the ancient astronaut theory is?
Well, essentially, the ancient astronaut theory tries to prove whether or not extraterrestrials visited Earth in the remote past.
Giorgio, do you think the Bible is loaded with stories about ETs that are misinterpreted as angels, as gods?
Yeah, not only is it loaded, but it's a veritable treasure chest. I mean, there is not a page in the especially in the Old Testament, of course, where we can't find references to ancient aliens, because at the outset of this interview, I were talking about whether or not I believe in God, and of course the answer is yes. However, the way this whole discussion should be prefaced is, do I believe in the God of the Old Testament? And the answer is a resounding no, because according to ancient astronaut ideas, the God that's described in the Old Testament was anything but God. In fact, it was a misunderstood flesh and blood extraterrestrial whom our ancestors mistook for some type of a divine, magical, or spiritual being, which he, she, or it never was. And mind you, quote-unquote God, or whatever that ET's name was, knew that they're being worshipped as gods. Just like if we arrive on another planet in the future and that planet hosts intelligent life, but that life is, technologically speaking, primitive, we will be worshipped as gods. And there is no way that we will not use that to our advantage.
You say that ancient aliens, I might say fallen angels. I'm sure you've heard this theory before.
Of course, the Nephilim. Yes, absolutely.
It does say that that these fallen angels, these sons of God, they commingled with human women, and they also passed down knowledge, forbidden knowledge, at that point in time to mankind. And
right.
we see a correlation between that and what's found in Scripture.
Well, essentially, what it all comes down to, that according to the ancient astronaut theory, all the ancient holy scriptures that we have, including the Old Testament, the Torah, the Quran, all these ancient holy books, according to the ancient astronaut theory, in very simple terms, are based on a human fabrication, on a human misunderstanding, where they thought that those fallen angels were, in fact, fallen angels with wings and, fluttering around and things like this, where in reality, those fallen angels were not fallen angels as we know of angels today, or how we regard angels today, but that they were, in fact, flesh and blood extraterrestrials. And the reason why they, quote-unquote, fell is because, according to our hypothesis, a type of mutiny might have happened a long time ago between different factions of visiting extraterrestrials. But in my opinion, Enoch actually visited or was brought up to one of those, real-life nuts and bolts spaceships.
I'd have to disagree with you, Giorgio, about the Old Testament God being, God in general, being extraterrestrial. Isaiah 66 does say that Earth is God's footstool and heaven is his home. That would be a pretty big alien, if you ask me.